When I first started teaching preschool, I wanted a way for us to review the letters that we'd already learned while focusing on our new letter. I didn't want us to get rusty on the ones that we had already practiced. So that's how Alphabet Exercises was born. Hello and welcome to Discovery Adventures Preschool. I'm Hillary, and today I would love to teach you about how I do alphabet exercises in my classroom. So with preschool, obviously one of the main things that we're going to be learning about is the letter names and the letter sounds. This is a vital step in learning how to read and write. While not all of the kids are going to have all of the letter names and sounds memorized by the time they graduate, which is totally fine, but I do want them all to at least be exposed to each of them, be familiar with them, and have a good attitude towards learning, and specifically learning the alphabet and reading and writing. So to that end, I decided to create something that I call alphabet exercises. I feel like it's very helpful for the kids, and it's also something that most of them enjoy and look forward to. P.S. I'm sure there are other people who do similar things. I didn't really base this off of anybody else, but let me talk to you, though, about what I do in my classroom. So I pull out letter cards, and then we go through. We say the sound and the name, and we do an action for each of the letters. I do feel like this 2 to 5 minute activity really helps the kids to memorize the letter names and the sounds, and in a fun and positive way. And as I like to say, fun can be a powerful tool. One of the benefits I have noticed is that when I'm quizzing the kids on their letters to figure out which ones they know by themselves, which ones they need a little help with, a lot of them will do it the same way that we do in alphabet exercises. They'll do the actions even. So I can tell that that is something that their mind is latched onto to help them be able to access it on their own. And I feel like this is partly successful because with alphabet exercises, we are using a little bit more of our brains. We are not only seeing the letter, but we're also saying the sound, and we're hearing other people say the sound, and then we're involving our bodies by doing the action that goes along with it. I think one of the great things about preschool and one of the benefits of alphabet exercises is that we're doing it as a group. So it helps elevate the students who would be maybe struggling with specific letters. And it also has that kind of positive peer pressure vibe. Maybe some kids who are a little less interested in letters at this point are more likely to get involved and have fun when everybody's doing it. Oh, and as we go along, I try to give lots of positive feedback. We're like, oh, good job. Oh, you remembered. Nice. Especially later on in the year when we've been doing this every day, I do switch up. Sometimes we do different colors of cards, like green. Generally, I do white, but later on in the year, we'll switch up to different colors. Sometimes we'll try to go a little bit faster, and then slower. Sometimes we'll use our whisper voices. And sometimes we use our really big voices. That way, we have a little bit of variety mixed in to help keep the kids engaged and focused. Let's get into a little side note on rote memorization. So I think that while it should not be the only way you teach something, I do feel like memorization absolutely has its place in a well-rounded educational plan. Learning letters specifically, it can be really helpful to be a more fluent reader and writer when you just have the sounds and the letters memorized. For example, in preschool, we do alphabet exercises, which is mostly a memorization activity, but that's not the only way I'm teaching a letter. Like for letter B, one of my favorite lessons is we do a birthday party for Bear. I let the kids bring their bears, and we have a little birthday party. We're going to give them some gift bags, but our bears are kind of picky, and they only want things that start with their favorite letter. The letter B. So with the letters. We're having fun. We always do art with the letters. I tie in things with nature and science. We're playing around. And we also are doing a little bit of memorization. This activity, alphabet exercises, really only takes 2 to 5 minutes per day. And so it's just a small part of how we're learning the letters, but I do feel like it's an important part in an overall well-rounded educational plan. So if you would like to incorporate alphabet exercises into your preschool classroom or kindergarten or even first grade or at home with your own kids, then let me teach you how I do it. So you are going to need supplies. You're going to need to decide when you're going to do the alphabet exercises, and then you're going to need to decide how you are going to do it. So the supplies, you are going to need letter cards for each letter. I highly recommend having uppercase and lowercase letters. You can use mine. I have them available on my TPT store, and I'll link it down below, or you can come up with your own if you'd like. For the when, obviously, you just need to decide when you're going to be incorporating that in your day, or is it going to be more of a weekly activity? And then how, I'll teach you a little bit about how I do it, and you're welcome to copy exactly what I do or mix it up and make up your own. Let's go into depth a little bit more for each one of those. Okay, so for supplies, here was my thought process. I really wanted letter cards that were easy enough for me to hold and flip through, but still big enough that all the students, when we're gathered at the carpet, are going to be able to see the letter. I also wanted the letters to be in the form that they're most likely to see it as a beginning reader. So like, for example, letter T is sometimes got the little curve at the bottom, but that's not the version that they're going to see most of the time at the beginning of their reading and writing. So it honestly was a little easier said than done. I had to search kind of hard to find the fonts that I liked and combine a few. Also, I didn't want, for these specifically, I didn't want pictures and I didn't want words on here. I just wanted it really simple. Just one letter. So it's not visually distracting at all. Now, there are other times of the day that we will do things with words and with pictures. But for this alphabet exercises, I just want it really simple, really easy for them to focus for F. Nothing else to distract them. So that's how I created mine. And again, it's on my TPT store. You are welcome to grab it or come up with your own. I do have several different versions on my TPT. Some I have uppercase and lowercase combined, which I do towards the end of the year. With the beginning of the year, I do, as you can tell, 6 of each. And then after we've practiced like letter F, so I'll put in 6 lowercase, 6 uppercase, and then all the other letters that we've practiced. Then once we're done with learning letter F for that week, I'll take out the extra ones and just leave 1 uppercase and 1 lowercase in there. There are a few letters like letter O and letter X that look the same in uppercase and lowercase versions. And eventually, after I'm really confident that the class has that down, sometimes I'll take out one of the O's and one of the X's towards the end of the year. So number 2, for when, I do recommend that you establish when in your routine you're going to be doing alphabet exercises. For preschool, it's something that we do every class period. I personally do it at the end of my calendar time and transitioning into our literacy lesson. It's part of our opening circle. It could also work well right before class ends and you send them out the door. It might be nice too to help them keep it fresh in their mind as they go home. But really, you could do it any time of the day. I do recommend picking a consistent time to do your alphabet exercises. 1, so that it gets done. It's more likely to get done if it's part of a routine, right? And then 2, it's also something comforting and helpful to know what to expect out of your day and your schedule. That can be especially helpful for those of us with ADHD or some of our friends who might be struggling with anxiety a little bit more, to know, okay, we're going to do this, and then we're going to do this, and eventually mom and dad are going to come get me. I'm going to do a whole video on how I personally do my preschool schedule and what I've learned and how to help kids with it, but that'll be a separate video. So for alphabet exercises, I just encourage you to pick a time that works best for you and your kids, and of course, play around with it. If what you first try isn't working that well, that's okay. Try again. All right, so the biggest section, the how, number 3, I'm going to go over what I personally do and say for each letter, and why I chose to do it this way. So, for example, I got letter I up right here, and I really wanted the emphasis to be on the letter sound over the letter name. When you are reading and writing, most of the time you're dealing with the letter sound. However, we do refer to the letters a lot by their names as we're learning about them. So I didn't want to completely ignore the letter name, but I did want the emphasis to be on the letter sound. And so I came up with putting the letter sound first, repeating it several times, and then saying the name. So it would be like I, F, H, J, etc., etc. And then we do an action for each. I feel like this helps involve more of your brain and more modalities. With the actions, I wanted to do ones that were either attached to a verb and or a noun that starts with that letter. So let's see what's next. Lowercase I. So for this one, I decided to go with I. I did want the actions to be big enough that it's moving more of their bodies. And I also wanted the actions to be different enough that they weren't getting them mixed up with each other. So I did incorporate a little bit of ASL, or use that as some inspiration. I do teach the kids the ASL sign for each of the letters when we first learn it, but with alphabet exercises, we're just doing big actions. Sometimes they're inspired by ASL and sometimes they are not. Last note, and then I'm going to teach you what I do. I did put out a video for each of the letters, introducing them in the order that I personally teach them. They are all on my YouTube in a playlist called Alphabet Exercises. I put them up during our distance learning for my students, and you are welcome to just show your kids exactly that if you want. I am using an older set of cards, but it still works great. And if you would like to be able to learn it to do it on your own, then let me teach you what I do. Okay, I'll move this out of the way. Can you see me? All right, so we're gonna go kind of quick, and I'm gonna treat you a little bit like I would my class as I'm teaching you. Although obviously my class, we're learning it more one at a time at this age. Anyway, okay, so for letter A, I'm gonna pretend that I am allergic to the letter A, and I'm gonna have a big achoo. So I'm gonna go A. For letter B, we're gonna go bouncing, ba 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 bee. Letter C, we're gonna clap, C. D, we're gonna pretend to be digging doggies. D. E, we're going to touch our elephant ears. E. For F, take your fingers and fan your faces. F. G, we're gonna pound our guts like we're gorillas. Go, 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 G. For H, we're gonna make hearts with our hands. H. I makes me itchy. I. J, jumping jacks. J. K is for karate kicks. K. And make sure you're careful and don't kick any other kids, okay? All right, L, we're gonna pretend to lick some lollipops. Just pretend. L, M. I love it when my mom makes me munchies like marshmallows and M&Ms. So I'm gonna go M. N is being kind of naughty, so we're gonna tell it no. N. O, we're gonna shout out to the ocean. Oh. P, pop some popcorn. P. Q, we have to be really quiet. Quack, 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 quack. Q. R, we are going to pretend we have a red race car in our hand. We're gonna rev up our red race cars. R. S, sneaky snakes. S. T, just pretend, tap your teeth. T. U, we're gonna push umbrellas up, up, up. U. V for victory. Victory means you win. V. Y is a yawn. We'll go Y. And Z, we're gonna make zigzags with our fingers. We're gonna pretend like we're helping the zebra zig and zag. Z. And that is alphabet exercises. So that is the why and the how of my alphabet exercises. I hope you can find it useful for you and your students, whether you copy it exactly or use it as inspiration. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is one of our very first videos on our channel, so I'm especially grateful for your support and would love a like and subscribe. But honestly, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being a teacher and somebody who cares about kids. You are amazing. I'm so excited that you're here, and I hope you have so much fun with alphabet exercises. Goodbye for now, and happy teaching!